It's important that our stories be told as honestly as possible, and that there be authentic voices that are speaking from the heart.
Their stories are rooted deep in our nation's history. Hispanic Americans fighting for their dreams.
We have gone unnoticed what we have given to this country.
I was aware of the differences. You know, I was very aware that we were from Mexico and that we were working class.
Change in the workforce, in society, has come with sacrifice.
Pulverized my spleen and I almost died for doing peaceful protests.
We were a controlled people politically, so we changed that. It wasn't easy.
Determination paying off.
I worked 2 jobs, saved up as much money as I could. We both worked really hard, and we took a risk with very little money.
Hispanic culture thriving. The history, educating and influencing future generations.
It's not easy to change the minds of people that are used to see traditions just being traditions. It's like male mariachi bands.
It gives us a feeling of pride so that we can be proud of who we are.
And all of us, like myself, are very proud to be American citizens.
This is Project Community, celebrating Hispanic heritage.
No matter where you live, you don't have to look far to see the positive impact of the Hispanic and Latin community. Thank you for joining us. I'm Keegan Fox.
And I'm Troy Johnson. From the fight for social justice to the influence on music and cuisine, the contributions are everywhere. It was 1968 when the United States first celebrated Hispanic Americans with Hispanic Heritage Week. 20 years later, President Ronald Reagan signed a law celebrating Hispanic heritage for a full month. Right now, more than 60 million Hispanics live in the U.S. That's nearly 1/5 of our population. Their experiences along the journey to the American dream are emotional and inspiring.
You're about to hear 3 of those stories. One, a veteran of a distinguished military unit that was not properly recognized for decades. Second, a woman who was on a mission to reunite her family after fleeing Cuba. And third, a political trailblazer still going strong at 87 years old. Bianca Beltran starts us off.
His last name, Rojas, is proudly displayed around his home in Kansas City's west side, but his first name was given to him in school.
My real name is Raul. I guess the nuns took the little foot off the R and made it a paw, a P. But that was not uncommon.
Paul's father came to the United States from Mexico.
That guy right there is my dad.
The musician found work in packing houses. Paul grew up during World War II.
Real distinctly remember in school when Rita Moreno comes in and she was crying. They had just got notice of her dad. They sunk the ship.
He joined the Navy as a teenager, serving during the Korean War.
You had one son, you had one star. However, my sons were serving, that's how many stars were on your window. There was not a window in this west side that didn't have one of these with a number of stars. We have gone unnoticed for what we have given to this country. And all of us, like myself, are very proud to be American citizens.
He became politically active, working to increase Hispanic representation.
We formed a political organization. We, like in the black community, we were a controlled people politically. So we changed that. It wasn't easy. There were threats made.
Rojas was the first Latino elected to the Missouri State House in 1972. While doors opened for change, he received questions.
Some people would ask me, where are you from? You know, in that state capital, where are you from? Where am I supposed to be from, you know? But
despite progress, he says discrimination persists.
There's a movement, an organized movement to paint us as not worthy of holding such positions because they label us as being non-Americans, this, and being criminal elements, many other things that are not true.
At 87 years old, he continues to be involved with the historic Guadalupe Center's organization, providing education and services to the Hispanic community in Kansas City.
This is a systematic, organized land grab movement.
And speaking out against gentrification.
The bulldozer that's going to run me out of here hasn't been built yet.
He says young people give him hope for the future.
Be proud of your heritage, be proud of who you are, and We all made in God's image, plain and simple.
Snapshots of an adorable little girl whose story begins in Cienfuegos, Cuba in 1991.
Now that I think back, I realize how poor we really were, but when I lived there, I didn't realize it, kind of thing, you know what I mean?
When Laura was 14, she came to the U.S., but she had to leave her mom behind.
The language by far was the hardest thing, and then, well, obviously being away from my mom.
Laura first lived in Miami, Florida with her dad. He'd fled the island when she was just a little girl. That was back in 1997.
If I don't leave the country, I will never be able to give my family a future.
In 2007, Laura's dad moved the family from Miami to Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and Laura was on a mission.
Okay, she was focused on that, and that was the only thing in her mind.
Once you got here, you made it your life's mission to reconnect with your mom.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah. So before I left, one of the reasons I felt okay leaving was because I had already told I had this narrative in my mind of this is what I'm doing. There's not any questions, any if or buts. I'm getting there, I'm going to school, and I'm getting my family over there.
Laura's mom still gets emotional when she talks about the time she spent away from her daughter. She says it's an emptiness she just couldn't fill. Years would pass, but then it happened.
Now I'm gonna live my life, and they're gonna be a part of it.
These pictures were taken at Miami International Airport when the family was reunited in 2013.
I felt really proud.
But as it turns out, getting mom here, that was the easy part.
Teaching them everything, explain to somebody what credit is and how it works and what a debit card is. And to this day, we'll go to the store and she's like, don't leave me.
Through it all, the family became stronger, closer.
Me just continuing school and not leaving school to do what I did would have been easier, but I don't know that I would do it any different because I wouldn't want them to be, right now with this pandemic, the situation in Cuba now is just horrendous. I would be going insane if my mom was still there.
Laura's also a mom now to this little guy, 3-year-old Luca. He was born right here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. He just woke up from a nap, still groggy from that American dream.
We're not perfect, but we're very blended, and we make it work. So I'm proud of what we've built here.
That picture reminds me because he was a good man.
There are young men sitting in books in retired Command Sergeant Major Anibal Abertorio's house.
Here is the famous 65th Infantry softball team. We were champions. I remember all those, most of them passed away, most of them. I don't recall anybody that's alive except me. The others are gone.
Young when they joined the military at 18, volunteers shipped off to fight in 1950 to Korea.
Oh, here is the one.
Mr. Abertorio is a member of the famed 65th Infantry Regiment, nicknamed the Boricuaneers, an all-Puerto Rican unit who served in America's wars since the First World War, serving at a time when discrimination based off race was the norm.
They forget that we are one nation under God. We want to fight for the same principles. And those bullets don't have any colors or any particular agenda. They are there to shoot you.
At 91 years old, this vet served in Korea and Vietnam. Many of the men who left the island territory with him never made it home.
It's those that were beside me, behind me, in front of me, that didn't return. They stayed there, missing in action, KIA. They never had the opportunity to return. Those things on my mind always haunt me forever. That I could not do something about that particular soldier, my brother. I could not do nothing about it. So that really stay on my mind all the time. You got to love your country. You got to protect your country by your daily behavior. Remember that you are here because so many of them stay behind defending this country.
It's the active service message that keeps Mr. Abertorio hard at work, a job he says he will work until he's 100, helping the next generation understand we are in this together.
Don't be selfish. You'll be a person that can help others, not only with words, but with deeds. Do
do something, don't talk about it. Just do it and be consistent on your cooperation, your conversation, your interaction with your neighbors. So that's my philosophy.
The celebration of Hispanic heritage actually involves 2 months, running from September 15th to October 15th.
And that's because several Latin American countries celebrate independence that first week, and then Columbus Day is observed in mid-October.
Still ahead, fighting for equality in the farm fields and beyond.
The changes that we want have to be put into legislation where people can be held accountable.
Hispanic activists helping build a better future. Plus.
And that is where our first performances took place, right by the side of the road.
And you're doing this all out of the back of a truck?
Yes.
Roadside performances influencing theater and movies. The cultural impact on everything from the arts to cuisine. When Project Community Celebrating Hispanic Heritage returns.